Mm. What is going on, guys? This Dealer here, back again with another RDX podcast, Real Deal Xbox podcast. We have a ton to talk about today, an amazing panel, though we are missing Fraudarelli. He'll be back next week, but we do have Colt Eastwood back this week. We got some ridiculous topics to talk about. I want to send a shout out to everyone who's joining us live right now. You guys are the best. Colt, let us know how you've been, buddy. Where were you?
I just had one more thing to finish up for spring, and then now I just had the rest of my life back. It's great. So I'm glad to be here because there's been a lot to talk about.
Yeah. You got a lot of great topics today. D-Batch, how you been, Mr. Predator?
I am so good. I am on cloud 9, man. My Raptors are going to the NBA Finals. The city has been on fire. I'm on cloud 9, man.
They're about to get smacked up, fool. Don't even.
What city do you light on fire? I mean, on here.
No, the city, Toronto's going crazy right now with the Raptors going to the finals. And I'm honestly tell you, I'm like cloud 9. I've been like a diehard Raptors fan from day one, and I can't tell you how good I feel right now, to be honest with you guys. And also today we got some great topics, some juicy tech shit. I can't wait to dig into it.
D, are you the guy sitting next to Drake on the side of the court, always sitting there hugging him and shit?
All right, fuck faces. Let's go ahead and move forward. And someone in the chat's like, D's Canadian? Yes, D's Canadian. Also, we do have Zalker87 as well. How you been, bud?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I'm excited to talk about all these topics. I just started Edith and Finch last night. That game is fucking
Edith
weird.
And Finch. Is that what
or
you just
what
said?
remains of Edith Finch or whatever the hell?
Sounds like a cartoon.
It's like a cartoon, yeah. Ren and Stimpy, shit like that.
Oh, God. All right, everyone calls Zalker a fraud in the chat.
Yeah, fraud it up.
We've also got Tim Dog. Beastfire Tim Dog. How you been, brother?
Good. Happy to be here. Got my coffee ready to go. Looks like a big week of big news, so we can get right to it. Happy to be here, though.
Hell yeah! Turn that crack rock back on. What happened to that crack rock?
Do it again.
Maybe towards the end of the show.
Well, we do have an absolutely fantastic show lined up for everybody. Once more, shout out to the hundreds that are already joining us live. Hit that like button if you're here early. It really helps more than you know. Maybe share this out on Twitter. Get us rolling a little bit faster. We got some topics. We'll stream into some top. Actually, no, never mind. Fuck that. We're starting with some great topics. We're just going to work our way to even better topics. So I do got to give a shout out to the patrons this month in the RDX podcast tier. So for those of you that know, that list refreshes every single month. We're about at that deadline. So if you did sign up this month, you'll be on this list soon. So look forward to that. But we do have David. We got Suicide King. We've got Captain Redbeard. We've got Lethal Papa. We've also got Prime Suspect. We got Michael Bowen. We've got Channing Pennington. We got Guillermo Cavillo. We've got Wilmy Hood. And we've got Biggie 2316. You guys are absolutely fantastic. That link is down below. And the guy that won Mortal Kombat 11 Premium Edition, I gave away 3 games this month. The guy that won the $100 version of Mortal Kombat never replied. So keep your eye on these posts. Like, there's a reason I say that in the tier. Like, hey, check the site, especially when giveaways are happening, right? Because I'd rather give it away to somebody that's actually keeping up with that stuff instead of giving it to some guy that's never there, right? So that is actually up for grabs again, along with 10, 14 other games. So once again, just stay tuned. We got something interesting going on here. Last of Us, Death Stranding. These guys, we're gonna open with this because it's not necessarily strictly Xbox, but it is interesting because, as you guys know, since Sony announced that they're not doing E3, a lot of guys on that side are saying, "Hey, we don't really need that anyway. It's cool, whatever you say, Sony. Just like crossplay, just like everything else." And now we're hearing rumors of Last of Us 2 being revealed this week or the 30th or whatever, like the reveal date. Same for Death Stranding, and the rumor is that they're going to have a Last of Us 2 focused state of play on May 30th, which would reveal the release date and blah, blah, blah. Tim, I'll hand it to you on that one in a second. That may not be accurate anymore. But these guys, it brought them out of the woodwork because they're like, yes, give us those 2 announcements. So they want the thing that E3 is made of, exciting gaming-related announcements, but they don't want E3 anymore. So Tim, what are your thoughts on this? Because you see it all.
I don't know. You should always want an E3, and it's kind of silly to say that you don't need it. But then when a little bit of inkling of news that right now looks like might not even be true, Play Square just came out with an article or a release saying that the state of play announcement does not look likely right now.
Yikes.
Supposedly, we were supposed to get the announcement tonight for State of Play for the 30th, but that site that reported said that it was going to come tonight. It came and went. So it's looking more and more unlikely per Push Square. That's their own words. There's an article. The point is that it's you should want an E3, and obviously
what about Death Stranding though? Is there still a chance they'll get something from that?
That's definite. I think we're going to get a video on that, a trailer. I think that's definite. But the Last of Us State of Play rumor with the release date and the focus State of Play, that is looking unlikely right now. So,
hey Tim, how many times in this past year have I guess fans rumored and teased release date for Death Stranding and The Last of Us? Like, it seems like this is like the 5th time or something. Have you noticed? Like every 2 or 3 months, like there's a big rumor that rolls around that they're going to get a release date or a release year. That's the weird thing. Like, these games don't even have a release year.
Yeah, it's 2016. I think both were announced. One was announced at PSX, the other one at E3. So yeah, it's getting to that time.
Yeah, I did a video. I did a video about. Cool. I'm sorry, I did just real quick. I did a video about that early in the year. That math says that The Last of Us should come out at the end of this year. Because according to what Neil Druckmann said about when they're at a certain point, they finished mocap, which was confirmed like a few weeks ago. Math points to that definitely could come out at the end of this year. So this
and that was confirmed by Neil Druckmann. Right?
No, I mean, it's definitely a real possibility, and it's just kind of strange that we still don't have a year. It seems like Naughty Dog's just going to drop the date on this thing and just put it out.
Well, Ronan in the chat there, he you know what, Ronan really cares about Batman, and you know what, I want some information on Batman as well. I watched Rand's prediction video, and he talked about Suicide Squad, and then we talked in a party after, and I'm like, Rand, we know this Batman game's real. Like, why would they announce Suicide Squad and show that before they showed this Batman game, which has been in development much longer? So it's going to kind of be close with these two, Suicide Squad, Batman. Hoping we see that at E3. If we don't see Batman at E3, maybe it got delayed or something. Like, there was kind of some rocky development rumors there, Ronan. So just so you know. But D, was that you about to say something a second ago?
Yeah.
Somebody
I was going to say about The Last of Us 2. On a lot of the PlayStation 5 leaks about it being backwards compatible, on most of those leaks, it had The Last of Us 2, I think, either remastered or that it would be, compatible with the PlayStation 5, adding assets in. So how would that be if it's coming out next year? Obviously, the PlayStation 5 is 2020, so I'm under the impression that it is going to come out this year because they are kind of dry for the rest of the year, and it would make sense for them to announce something like this maybe at their PlayStation event. I don't think we're going to get it at what's their show called?
State of Play.
I don't think we're going to get a State of Play. I think it's going to be at their Sony event, their Paris event.
Well, isn't the Paris event mainly in October? So is that like enough time to basically show the game and then give the release date to come out in November? I don't think it is. I think that they're going to try to build a pipe. If it does have a release date this week or whatever the hell they said they're going to do the trailer and show the release date, I don't know. People have been saying that for the last 2 State of Plays. It's coming. It's coming. Just fucking wait at this point. Like, you don't care about E3, so you don't care about announcements and cool shit like this. And now all of a sudden you're like clambering up the wall like freaking zombies in World War Z.
Like,
trying to get the release
date. They saying it's coming and they're hyped for a gaming related announcement, but don't want E3. I'm just fucking confused.
Because they see us all hyped up for E3. Like, let's be honest, everybody in this panel, everybody watching this, every person that's a fucking gamer is excited for E3. They see us putting out videos, they see us talking about it because we have stuff to talk about. I'm sorry you don't, but it sucks. And that's the whole point of it, is that's what this is. It builds a pipe and it brings gamers together to enjoy something we love. And you don't have that right now.
It's not just a tweet. It's not just a tweet or a YouTube trailer. Like, it's a full presentation. It's the energy. It's the crowd. It's like they put everything together. And
community.
I mean, normally the E3 conferences are really well done, especially Microsoft's last 3 have been really well done. They've been no nonsense. Just show the games, show the news you want to see. And like, it's been really cool. The last Sony E3 wasn't as good as the other ones, but
the same guys that saying E3 doesn't matter said that Sony won those E3s.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need.
I mean, there's a ton of multiplats on the stage, no matter who you are. And if you're a gamer, you should be excited. It's even just about Xbox's E3. There's plenty for everybody to see on there, especially when they talk about streaming, talk about multi-plat games, and they talk about what the new consoles are going to do. It's going to give you a good idea what the PS5 is going to do. Like it's a good thing to watch.
And I have to say that if let's just say like by happenstance that Xbox is like, hey, we're not going to be at E3 this year. If you really think that we would say E3 is irrelevant, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, we would be furious.
That and they
100%.
themselves will be freaking the fuck out. I gotta give a shout out to Pillbox Gaming, just breaking the fucking ice with his shirt off up there. What's up, Big Pimps? Let's go. Thank you so much for the 20, brother.
Dealer West Webb said that. Who said they don't want E3? Like he's never heard this.
West Webb, you said a lot of shit. You got 6 different accounts, bud. We've been over this.
No, but
I think that them releasing some information this week or on the 30th is actually really smart. If they do this is what they should do. There's a reason they revealed the PS5 information on the Xbox One SAT editions, reveal or whatever the fuck day it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're smart. Even though we all hammered the SAT edition for being too expensive, because it is, Sony did what they could, and they made that even worse by just steamrolling it with PS5 information. You might as well get it out of the way, right? So, any other final thoughts on these information for these games coming out? I mean, we got a lot of great topics today, but it's kind of straightforward.
Let's hope it happens.
I want to see what we're going to see from Death Stranding. That I'm a little interested in that one.
I got my pillow ready to fall asleep. Can't wait.
We haven't seen gameplay yet. That's when people are going to get really excited because
it's just such a fucking weird game. I think we're going to be more confused by the next trailer. We're going to be like,
I don't know.
What's happening?
It's going to have that horror aspect, and then
motherfucker's probably going to jog today. Motherfucker's walking with a body on his back tomorrow. I mean,
I'm going to see a
baby on his chest the next day. I'm confused as fuck.
I want to say something, and Zorka brought it up, and we kind of went over it, but I want to second it. If Xbox wasn't having an E3, I guarantee you this panel will be critical of Xbox. I mean, I've seen people in the community when we had our times with the games flat out, be completely, completely telling Xbox what they want and what they need. And I think Sony fans should do the same. You really should, if you want something, you shouldn't, if they don't give it to you, you should say something.
Don't be a fraud, basically. Ronnie Williams, yes, you're right. Shout out to Ronnie Williams. Invader Gaming, Ouya won this E3, by the way. Thank you. Invader Gaming, thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, man. Like I said, we got an amazing chat. Ninja Theory. Now apparently this is where this came from. Segment Next did a article on how Ninja Theory are ready for ray tracing the next Xbox. They didn't link where that came from, right? I searched around, couldn't find anything. And Rand couldn't find anything. We were talking about it. And then I mentioned it in my last video at the end. And of course, I'm like, hey, I don't know if this is real. I don't know. Like, let me know. And maybe you guys can find out what's going on here. But apparently that came from a job listing that wasn't even in English, so you'd have to translate it. But that's actually real. So Ninja Theory basically hired for ray tracing of some kind. And the article, for them not to even mention that or source it, is kind of ridiculous. But it is a thing. Apparently they are ready for the next big advancement in gaming technology. And they're going to be doing this on things like the Xbox Anaconda. Just wanted to throw that out there. I'm really excited. Keep in mind, you will see a Ninja Theory game this E3. It'll come out early next year, but it's not the Hellblade team. Keep that in mind. This game's been developed for a long time by a smaller section of that studio. So, Tim, you got any kind of specific thoughts on this? It's not really all that surprising.
No, the original the thing about the ray tracing was, I remember seeing a tweet. Clobrill, who has posted many other leaks and stuff like that, or is pretty good. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you should. If you're an Xbox fan, he put it up there. So it looks like they're gonna be the state of the art Xbox team. I mean, I can't wait to see what they have. And like you said, there's gonna be a game coming, but that is not the Hellblade team per se. I would say, I wouldn't say the B team because they're both good. But I would say that their top team, or their main focus team, will come out with a game probably 2021.
Tim, what do you mean by state of the art? Like Ninja Theory is going to be the state of the art? Are you talking about mocap or just like in general?
I just think that they are just going to be.
They won some awards on their mocap stuff, right?
Yeah, I think they're just going to be a top studio with Xbox with what they've done with Hellblade on such little time, and that whole thing was amazing. Now that they have such backing and the people that they've hired, I honestly see them rivaling any studio within the Xbox.
They're going to be like the real deal, man. And they're hiring big, just as we just talked about. Obi-Wan FTW in the super chat says, "So you're a fraud, huh?" He did a GIF with Captain America where he kicks the chair around in detention. So you got detention, huh? It was fucking hilarious. Thank you so much, Obi-Wan.
Remember that Ninja Theory, they did that amazing stuff with Hellblade, but they said they just needed money. They needed funding to do something great. And look what they did with almost nothing. So that's kind of where Ninja Theory is going to really shine now that they have a little bit of money to work with.
The video Violence says that yes, they won awards for their mocap stuff, and they won 4 BAFTAs, which is that's never a bad thing, people.
Yeah, it looks like
BAFTA is. I'm taking 4 of them right now.
And another rumor was, not to cut you off, Logan, but was the ray tracing also for Minecraft. So that might be. I know that you've mentioned that, Dealer, but I've heard rumblings that Minecraft, that 4K update was delayed.
That's why it's taking so long, right?
Simply for this. Yeah, the update is going to be there and probably burn our faces off.
Anaconda.
Thank you so much, Ronnie Williams. Tim, we live in a world where if you predict some shit a year ahead of time or talk about it 8 months before it's actually revealed by anyone else, you're not allowed to even mention the fact that you came up with the shit first. You know, that's just how it is. That or you're just an egotistical fucking asshole. So don't ever bring that shit up again, Tim. All right.
All right.
I want to talk about Gears of War 5. We all saw this other leak, some more information coming out. Who is well versed with their memory on what exactly was in this leak? Zucker?
4K 60 on every mode apparently is what they said. It's going to be the biggest open world. I mean, Rod Ferguson said last year that they're crazy like that. He said the coalition's crazy. They're going to try to get it 460 on every mode. He's like, that's what we're aiming for. So we'll see what happens with that. You know, I don't know if it's going to hit it on the campaign, but hey, man, if it does, fucking good on them.
I don't give a shit. It'll be higher than 1080p, I'm sure. You know, even if it's not, Gears 4 looks insane. Like
Gears 4 looks insane at 1080p 60 on the X. Like I'm looking forward to this thing. It's going to be so good. Yeah, they talk about the new open world features in the game, using that. You just did a video about this.
I know. I'm just testing you motherfuckers, okay? I know all of it. I'm just seeing like who else here is awake. Shout out to Nukem, by the way. Shinsai, a tryhard fan. Go ahead, go.
So we're thinking, we're just thinking it's going to be 2-player co-op, no 3 or 4-player, which it's kind of a bummer. But they've got split screen built into the game, which is used to be a rarity in this generation.
Biggest open world. It's the biggest open world that they've made Gears, and it's going to emphasize like the world of Sarah. So you're going to learn a lot about it, and just basically go from different environments like we've seen before. Like they've already hinted at that. We saw like a desert, snow, and then like a forest that was like frozen, like a bunch of cool shit. I'm looking forward to this, man. I think this is going to be one of the surprise games that, even though we're all hyped for it, I think it's still going to surprise us of how big and awesome this game is going to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very close to a 90, honestly. I think it's going to be like 88 to 90 range, honestly. I think it'll be that close.
Yeah, there'll be a story focus, because they're going to focus on what Kate's going through. And I feel like in 4, they were kind of talking about what JD is going through and like the struggle with his dad. And like you're working with Marcus, for those who haven't played it, I don't want to spoil it. But then you've got Kate. You've got like, it's mostly Kate, JD, and Marcus, like in Gears 4. And I feel like what we've seen, it's a strong emphasis on just what Kate's going through. Like she's going to go through like her struggle and the horror that she's dealing with, and her, I guess her pilgrimage to find out where the locust
people that are dead set on hating her, and if it's not the fact that she's, like if you beat Gears 4, you know why you're playing this game. There's no better character, right? And it also opens up hallucination type stuff and different types of gameplay you've never seen in Gears before.
Well, like what?
Which is cool.
Dealer, tell us like what female characters have been at the forefront of gaming the past couple of years.
I don't give a shit if you're female. I don't give a fuck if I'm playing as a tadpole. Like
or a squirrel flying through a
same here.
No, but it's like there's been
really you don't mind playing strong as a monkey flying through the trees, like in that trailer we saw, right? Like
but there's been really strong, like really likable female characters in big games in the past year.
I'm just saying, people are focusing on the wrong shit. It's fucking cringy. Stop focusing on male, female, fucking color.
Well, it gives certain YouTube channels mindless content.
People,
Really.
We're all gamers. Like, just shut the fuck up and play the game. But I gotta continue by talking about this because it's the most important. Gears of War 5. The release date was actually put out there by the voice actor Marcus Phoenix. I showed it in my last video, and he said September 4th, right? So that was kind of odd because we're hearing like the 10th or 7th or some shit. So I'm thinking, is that the premium? Is that the ultimate edition? Is that a staggered release on Game Pass? Are they actually going to let us play it earlier on Game Pass? Or what's going on there, Tim? Like September 4th isn't right. That's a Wednesday.
I think it's the premium. I think that you're going to be able to play it at the $100 premium. September 10th is still the date from what the rumblings I've heard. So I think he's right. It's just that's going to be a $100 buy-in. Like what they do with all their big AAAs. They kind of say, hey, you can play it early, but at $100. Which I don't really agree with, but it is what it is. I'm going to be one of those guys who gets it September 4th.
Well, David Robinson in the super chat. Interesting. Sony is a fraud. Remember the emails? I do remember those emails, and those were extremely damaging, and they still recovered like nothing happened. So, yes, David Robinson. It's very interesting stuff there. We'll not go into any of that because we want to stay on YouTube. So, hey, we got to give a shout out to 750 people watching us live, guys. Hit that like button. Let's shoot for 300 for the end of the show. 1,000 if you're watching after the fact. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Maybe share this somewhere where you share things. But any other details, they do say 4K 60. I think it'll be scaling. They did talk about that'll be all modes, meaning game modes. And, of course, the story and the release date was a big thing. But Horde Escape and stuff, we still don't know what that is. The maps are going to be about 20 times bigger. I mean, this game's going to be massive. I just can't wait, man. So, I guess.
What do you think Horde Escape is? You have the most experience in Gears games.
I would say it's kind of like Left 4 Dead. I would say you kind of like escaping, trying to get kind of like what World War Z was. You're just trying to get to a point and to survive and escape an area. That's what I kind of think it's going to be.
Instead of putting a trunk down.
Yeah, that's what I think it's gonna. You're gonna have to be on the move to escape. And the other thing is, I kind of want to backtrack a little bit, but I just want to learn about the lore. I do. I want to learn about Locust, all that stuff. I want to see what the story is, like what Kate's gonna be going through. I'm excited to see that. It's just kind of awesome.
Westweb said, "Can't wait to play Gears on the Xbox or on PC. Who needs the Xbox?" I'm sure they can't wait for you to play it on PC either. Give them their money, bitch.
Doesn't matter. They can't wait. You have it. Where you have your.
Can't wait till you buy a digital PlayStation game too, and all that shit goes to Microsoft.
I gotta say, I am surprised that they are.
He's like, yeah, I never own an Xbox. I actually have. I'm actually a PC guy, but my hobbies include walks on the beach and listening to Xbox podcasts. What a weirdo. That's what shout out to you, brother. You give us countless hours of entertainment. Northweb, bring Eastweb on this bitch too. Get him. So yeah, let's move on. THQ real quick. They are rumored to bring a new Darksiders or Destroy All Humans to E3. Well, last I checked, Darksiders, the last one, didn't do very well at all. So, debatch, Destroy All Humans. Is it time? I remember playing on the OG Xbox. Is it time? Chat, is it time?
I you know what? I think there is a place for that game. That game was different when it came out. It was funny, and I think they could do good with that. Darksiders, whatever. But this Destroy All Humans, the humor that it has, I think it could do good in this day and age because there's nothing like it, really.
Didn't Darksiders just release Darksiders 3?
Yeah, it didn't do very well.
Like September, or no, wasn't it like December? I don't fucking know. That's then they're like, oh, the next one's coming out. Here you go. It's like what?
And it looked very dated as well. Like when I saw it, I said, what the hell is this? Like a remaster or something? It looked really dated. It didn't look good at all.
Did anybody here play that game?
No.
Jeez.
I played for like 5 minutes and I turned it off. Whatever.
Well, hey, I got to shout out to Spider-Man 356 as well. It was his birthday recently, I'm told. So got to give a big shout out to Spider-Man. He's always here, always rocking out with us. Also, our mods, including the panel. But Lethal, Biggie, Wimmy Hood, you guys, they keep shit going. The T1000s that are chat, right? So they try not to ban people because we don't want to do that type of shit. But they definitely will. They will curb stomp you if you get online. It's just the rules. So,
heard that?
You heard that? THQ is rumored to kind of do something there. I'm not really sure. Metro Exodus, real quick. They basically say consoles made up the vast majority of sales. No big surprise.
But why when they can just play it on a PC?
Yeah, Wes Webb, explain yourself. What the fuck? Hey,
that's because millions of people love playing on console.
There's a billion PC gamers out there, though, Colt. Don't you know?
I know that, but millions and millions love playing on console. And that's just how it is. Yeah.
No, but Colt, you don't understand. A billion is a big ass number.
No. There's like 250 million on Steam, and guaranteed most of those are
Steam has
PC gamers.
A billion.
What?
Yep, a billion, quadrillion, and guess what? Without consoles, PC guys, and once more, I have to reiterate.
Oh, this is true.
Without consoles, you would not get any of these massive AAA games. You need console players to power the production of modern AAA games. It's just a fact. So you should love the fact that you can buy games on console.
Like a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't know if games would be like that if there weren't consoles. Like it's just kind of different that way.
I really don't get the hate because, in all honesty, the reason why PC games are so good right now is because of consoles. Because the consoles, as weak as their cores are, they have multiple cores in it, which scaled up to the PC. These games get optimized on the console, and of course, on the PC, you got more power. It's not much more for them to port it over. So the reason why they're getting all of these games is because of consoles. Consoles push the industry forward, like it or not. Most people play on consoles.
Well, Face 23 BKY, whatever fuck. He says 15. He says 15% of sales were on Xbox, and I'd like to know, is that source current, or is that years ago? Is that a year ago? How many years ago is that source, for one? And secondly, Witcher 3 sold well over 10 million copies. That's still a fuck ton of copies, buddy. So in either case,
you're talking like physical or digital?
No, guys. Remember, the more copies of a game that sells, the more you get to enjoy it.
Every copy sold on our PlayStation
platform, so it is now a 9.2 instead of a 8.7. Fucking right. Gosh. But either way, they did say their Epic Store sales did exceed expectations as well. So all the crying and stuff out there by these people did nothing. So good job. Microsoft Xcloud details real quick. 3,500 titles already available. They've got Xcloud servers in 13 or 14 different territories already. I explained this in my last video. They have an API that's been deployed to developers to help them take advantage of Xcloud as well. If you want to do that from the ground up, you can basically isolate servers and kind of get help scaling text automatically and all that stuff. No work needed on behalf of the developer. That's been confirmed by Microsoft as well. And of course, they, for reference, PlayStation Now has around 700 titles. So you got 3,500 versus 700. And the reason Xcloud is going to be so dominant is because of this. Ultimately, I believe whoever has the lowest latency is probably going to win by default, right? Because
you know what? I gotta shoehorn this in here real quick. When Microsoft said they had 3,500 games on the Xbox One, like that flipped a certain type of gamers out. Like, what? They have that many games on the console?
I thought they had no games, Cole.
Yeah, I thought they had no games. Now, to keep that in perspective, there is a little caveat there. The PS4 has about 3,700 games that are PS4 games on the console. The Xbox One has 3,500, and about 500 or 600 of those are back and pat. So, yeah, I mean, but there are a ton of games on the consoles in this generation.
So are they saying that they have 3,500 titles available for the Xcloud right now? So
they're saying that those will all work on Xcloud if the developers will approve them. And I think
so they are
why.
So they are kind of squashing the, maybe it's only Xbox games and Game Pass games. We're kind of squashing that, right? Like how Phil talked about him playing Destiny 2 on Xcloud. So they're going for every game, basically. Like they're just down.
They don't have to do anything. Soccer
compatibility. If it works on your Xbox One today, it will work on Xcloud because Xcloud is made of real Xboxes. So
what I'm saying exactly. Oh. Literally, it's like opt-in. It's like backwards compatibility. If the developer says, "Hey, I want to be a part of it," it'll play. They'll put it up. Now, if the developer wants to get deep into the API and they want to customize the GUI interface and the way you play the game on a device, they could do that. Otherwise, they'll have templates for those games, like a car racing game, you would put a car racing template over your iPad, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's ready to go. They've done a remarkable job.
Oh, so you're saying like if the developers want to actually go into it and put like the graphic user interface of having the if you don't have a control, so you can use it on your tablet.
Right.
Yeah, Microsoft's developed an API that will do a lot of that automatically, so they have to do it with very little extra work. They can even scale fonts that are they say text. They can even scale like the fonts so that you're on a smaller screen. It will scale them up. If you want to do the, I don't know what the word is when you take your fingers and you
make a expand.
Pinch to zoom.
When you can take your phone screen or your tablet screen and you can
pinch and zoom.
Pinch and zoom. You can do that in like a Horizon 4. You can get in the
basically
the map.
that's a part of the XDK. And Mr. Buster Palmer, shout out to him. He sent me a friend's request yesterday on Xbox. He says Microsoft pretty much taking over everything. That's their goal. Now, when Mike Ibarra was on the show, like a month ago now, he literally said that, look, this is going to be great because it's developer agnostic, meaning it doesn't care. Like it's just going to work. It's just going to work. We're not going to have to fight to get any of this adopted. It's all pretty much automatic. And as I said yesterday, because of the way these servers are built, what they're built out of, and especially now with this new API, this is fairly automatic. So D-Batch, one example, one reason, and chat, please join in because I really don't fucking know. I can't think of one reason that a developer would say, no, don't stream my game, because you would have to buy the game or it would have to be in Game Pass for you to stream it. Isn't that just another sale? Why would a developer possibly not greenlight and check that stream box?
No developer is going to say no to that. First of all, I know for a fact that developers hate, companies such as GameStop, where they don't get, most of the revenue from their games, right? With the secondhand sales. So this is perfect for them. They're going to get more sales from this. Why would they say no to it? It would make no sense. It's if someone says, "Hey, I'm going to put an extra $5 in your pocket for every new customer I send you," you're going to say no to that? Come on.
And Xcloud is not a rental service. I've done a couple videos about Xcloud, and I get a lot of people saying, "I just like to own my games, so I don't want this." Like, I don't understand how they don't hear in the video where I talk about the only way that you're not owning the games if you're streaming Xcloud Game Pass games. Yeah. But either locally or on Xcloud, that's renting anyway. And this is the way things are going. And I think dealers and D's right. Like if you can play this game wherever you want, but you got to buy it.
Of course, Rand just came out with one. They have their own streaming service. That's actually the only reason I can think of right now because Rand is always right. So thanks, Rand.
They have to deal with Google Stadia.
Rand, why aren't you in here? Oh, that's right, because you'll tell Docker he's going to build Dicks and Rage 2 again.
What the fuck? You guys be nice to Rand. Rand, I'm sorry on behalf of the RDX panel, and you're fine.
I'm not sorry.
Hey, D, how many games do you think Google Stadia is going to launch with?
I'd say 70. I'm going to be modest and say 70. I don't think everything is going to work right off the bat because if I'm not mistaken, are they not doing this on Linux or something?
Yes.
So not every game is made for Linux. Obviously,
Linux is the future, D-Batch.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to work, to be honest with you guys. And I have to be honest with you guys, seeing Sony partner up with Microsoft, and we pretty much know that the Xcloud is going to have the less latency out of all the companies. I just don't see how they're going to be as successful now. I was so hyped for it initially, and now my hype has just faded because all the games that I own on Xbox, I'll be able to play them on the Xcloud. I don't have to buy them again. I don't have to buy them on another platform. They're just going to work. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Hey, West Webb says 98% of gamers could care less about streaming. West Webb, do you have a source for that?
No, I love how people always, whenever they pull a number out of their rear end, they use anywhere from 98 to 99%.
Well, I hate to break it to West Webb, but game industry just came out and they said Sony's 2 keys to winning next generation is streaming and backwards compatibility. I mean, that's pretty high talk from
I just want to say this real quickly. If you own these games and say you're at your buddy's house, you're on a road trip, why would you not want to have the ability to play these games on your laptop that's not powerful enough to play these games, and you can play them on the go? How is this a bad thing? It doesn't stop you from owning games. If you don't want to play digital games, you don't want to play the cloud, don't play the cloud. Go buy the discs.
Pat Man just told me to stop feeding the troll. Are you serious? That's why this show is here, Pat Man. Come on, Pat Man.
No,
Yeah, that's actually my favorite part is talking to Wes Webb. I miss the guy. It's been a while.
Just so Wes Webb knows, I mean, Sony has said that streaming and the console go in tandem. They go together. It's just as important as the console, buddy. Literally just said that.
And remember, like 25% of all these gamers he's talking about, those are the hardcores. Like, if you look at 100% of gamers, like, but maybe a quarter of them are the hardcores, the ones that are reading all the gaming news, buy all the big games, have more than one console. Like the hardcore gamers, there's a good chunk of those that are interested to see what game streaming is going to be. And it's not replacing consoles for another 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Hey, shout out to Attack the Glitcher. That motherfucker came back to life. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I have talked.
Aloe in the chat. All these guys, man. It's crazy. Hey, if you're joining us, hit that like button, guys. Let's try to get to 300. We're already almost there. Maybe we can shoot for higher. I like doing that. And of course, after the fact, if you're watching after the fact, let's try to get to 1,000. Shout out to almost 900 already watching. We're getting up there. We do appreciate you guys that are absolute best in the universe. Share this, reshare things. So Colt's like grinder. So yeah, no work needed on behalf of the developers, and that's key because other platforms do require some work. I think Sony are actually hiring Microsoft to use their cloud network, and they're actually going to go a similar route. So there's a question based on this from simply known as KD on Twitter. He says, "Is it time to shelve consoles, or is streaming the long game?" Tim Dog.
I think streaming definitely is the long game. The only way streaming is going to supplant console native gaming is when it can exceed it. And I really don't see that for a long time. But there might come a time where, where you could say, if it's better to just go online and play and it's better than your native experience, that's the time when streaming can be a real factor in taking away consoles. But I would say console... They'll be, and this is told to me by somebody that 8K 120 is targeted in 10 years, and that will be on a native console. So you're at least talking 10 to 15 years that you're going to be able to be playing on a console, in my opinion.
And that option is important. Noof Nukem says disc games for him. That's a very important factor. You got to cover as much of your market share as possible, right? So they should have a disc drive in at least one of these versions. They should offer streaming to as many people as they can. If you don't want to do that, you can go out and buy the traditional console as you can today, and it won't affect you any way, or another, right?
Yeah,
100%.
It would be a perfect marriage. I know it's not going to happen. I know it's a pipe dream, but if you bought the physical copy of the disc, you would also get a digital copy, like what they do with Blu-rays and DVDs.
Oh yeah,
that'd be so awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Then you could sell the physical copy.
You could.
And they're trying to get physical altogether. I mean, it's a matter of time, 10, 15 years, whatever. Samsung stopped making 4K Blu-ray players already. It's like fuck. Movies is the last frontier for physical for me because I like to, it's a kind of like an event. You're dedicating 2 hours of your life, so you're like, let's go pick out a movie, And with games, it's more of a convenience factor for me. So, hey, Dubs, he says, "Hi guys, I'm curious on your thoughts about the PlayStation." Oh, we're definitely going to get to the PlayStation 5 stuff as well, but PlayStation productions and what we would like to see adapted into movies. Good question, Dubs. God of War. Absolutely epic movie waiting to be made. If somebody can make a damn good game movie, because it sure didn't happen with Pokemon, I'll tell you that. My girl wanted to see that shit. I was like,
Nathan Fillion did a pretty good job in that little mini Uncharted movie last year. Like, I don't know, I'd like to see that. Like, Indiana Jones is done. Harrison Ford said no one will take over as a new Indiana Jones once he dies, and I'd like to see Uncharted movie.
I want to see Gears of War movie.
Yeah, Gears of War, Uncharted. Yeah, those.
Rand also said, by the way, he said they may already have a deal with something like Stadia, but also that's almost, you should be held in contempt for doing that when your game is already on such a larger platform. There's no work to be done. Like you would just be an idiot to choose anyone else. I guess that's what.
Well, they do exclusives though. I mean, did they say they would that Google Stadia would have exclusives that wouldn't be on other streaming services?
They did say they would have exclusives. They did.
And they're making their own as well.
Yeah.
So
we kind of knew about this as well because there was some job listings that leaked saying as such. So yeah, I think the service will do okay. I just don't think it's gonna have the best latency. I think I think it's gonna have some issues in comparison to the other services out there. Like Assassin's Creed, it worked well, but the type of game that it is, you wouldn't really notice the latency as much as say a sports game or a driving game
or a fighting game.
Yeah, or where I'm hearing like the Microsoft stuff, like the latency is like super low, and the bandwidth requirements are super low. So let's see.
Post Up says something that we've kind of touched on as well, that the streaming services aren't really targeted at the hardcore. I think it's targeted at everyone. I think the vast majority of those who will use it are the casual, though. And if anything, we hear the hardcore talk the most about it right now is in they're excited, but they are a very small percentage. I mean, I don't think it matters who it's targeted at, as long as it works well.
But then again, it could be the hardcore that like steals away with a tablet and plays their game because they can't be at home. It's interesting. That's why it's good to look at it for everyone, because everybody has different situations. The hardcore that has the 2-hour commute on the train that has Wi-Fi on it, like Xcloud is like fantastic for that guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's not a casual for sure.
It's why the Switch sold so well. Like I literally have three of my best friends only own a Switch because they have an 1.5-hour train ride to go to the city. And that's all they do is they just play Legend of Zelda or whatever. They just play games on the Switch and that's it. So that's why people buy that system. Honestly, that's the whole point of it. And that's what
I would love to see their
do
docking numbers. Wouldn't that be funny, Zocker? To see what the actual docking playtime is on the Switch across the board.
I think
like 0.
It'd probably be like 10%, 5%.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's a huge.
Whenever I use my Switch, I just dock it to charge it, man. I've never really popped and put it up to the TV, to be honest.
Well, one thing about latency, I hear you guys talking about that. I think Google Stadia was tested at 150. From what I've heard, milliseconds. What I've heard, streaming to really make a difference or to make worth the damn is below 145 or 145 area.
It needs to be like fucking 80 at the most for me.
Right. Exactly, but like so I think Xbox is going to come in. This is just an educated guess. Maybe some things I've heard and the talked about, but I think it's going to come in like around that area below 45 milliseconds, which is completely destroying Stadia. That's like,
I think it'll be 45 milliseconds.
Oh my gosh,
that's what I gotta wait until see. But
that's pretty damn good, Jim Dog.
When I heard it's not worth it, streaming is not worth a damn. Unless it's under 50. That says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, some games lend itself to like a fighting game. You're going to need low latency.
I will confirm what Tim said. I also heard that they're aiming really for like 5, 6, 7. So
yeah, well, they said as much.
Homeless guy behind the Applebee's is telling you this, Steve.
Kareem actually said it. Kareem actually said it that the USB was slower than the latency. And it was he said those low numbers. So
USB
there is an
USB 1, USB
3. I'm gonna find the article.
I get it. I think they have every intention to make it as best as possible. That's very key. But that's a tall order these days. Maybe in an ideal situation next door to a data center. I don't know. But either way, don't make the mistake of thinking it won't get better. I mean, think about how much better technology has gotten in the last 5 years since 2007.
Yes, think about what 10 years ago. What was your internet speed, guys? Just say your number.
Fucking 3 megabytes per second.
10 years ago, okay?
Now 3 megabits per second.
So what's it going to be in 5 years? I have 60. Man. I know some of you guys have like 200 up or something, or 200 down.
You're gonna see people with tents outside of fucking server centers. This is fucking Assassin's Creed Ragnarok 5.
Like this is internet speed grows exponentially. Tech grows exponentially. The hardware grows exponentially, and for people to say, next year that that streaming's not going to work, like things are going to change. Westweb just said a minute ago that Xcloud is going to be another Connect, but the guy forgot that his favorite platform has been doing PS Now for years, and they're going to move and stream all their games, and he's like so unaware of what's going on.
Hey, JD Gamer, simple answer is no, man. Too much bullshit, too much lies, and it's 3 times a day. Thanks for the question, though, brother. Thanks for the super chat. We do have 880 people watching us live, guys. Hit that like button. We're just about to 300 already. We do appreciate Assassin's Creed Odyssey's Atlantis Episode 2 comes out on June 4th. And I refuse to play any of the DLC until it's all out. So that's when I'm going to know Life Assassin's Creed again. Just to let you guys know that expansion is out here in the next week. AMD conference breakdown with the PS5 tech. They did say that PS5, of course, uses Navi with new RDNA design as well. And AMD teases their Microsoft partnership. Definitely talks about the SSD side of things. I think AMD are working directly with Microsoft on next generation storage. As we know, Zen loves high bandwidth, and of course, a console shares memory. So, what do you think they're doing with all this? D, you can kind of break this down and keep it in the console realm if you can.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a lot of new information on Navi. Basically, I did do a rumor report last week, but we didn't, really take it seriously. But they did depart from GCN, so they are using a new architecture. It's called RDNA, and AMD is claiming basically 1.25 times performance per clock increase over Vega or GCN, and 1.5 times performance.
Which Vega is a step above what's in the Xbox One X, the world's fastest console now.
Most definitely. It also supports PCIe 4.0, which gives you a lot more bandwidth than PCIe 3.0. Now, these Navi GPUs are going to support PCIe 4.0, and they did do a little benchmark at their Computex presentation, and you could see that the bandwidth was a lot more than I believe they compared it against an RTX 2080 Ti. The performance that they unveiled, I think there'll be more GPUs that they announced next month at E3, but the GPU that they showed metrics on was beating 2070 by roughly 10%. But the most exciting part here is that they've departed GCN, so they no longer have those bottlenecks. They're no longer going to be stuck to just being able to put 64 CUs on a die. They have more shader backend, so it's going to be a lot more efficient. It's actually surprising because we really thought it was just going to be GCN, just on 7 nanometer, and you get the benefits of it being shrunken so that you get higher.
I just want you to know, D, that right now you sound like the actual Predator from Predator to a lot of people.
Why am I botting?
No, just like you're like GC and next, IPCs and fucking,
like start hearing him laugh soon.
In layman terms, we're going to get a much more efficient GPU that has more instructions.
In layman terms, graphics are good.
And also, some more information actually came out today on the Navi stuff, and there's some instructions on there that will give it capabilities like the NVIDIA GPUs, how they use their RT cores for ray tracing. So we got a little sliver of confirmation on ray tracing capabilities on these GPUs. But honestly, to tell you, I think next generation consoles are going to be amazing. They also talked about the Zen architecture. I'll keep this one brief. Basically, 15% IPC improvement over the previous generation. So it's on par with what Intel is doing.
Which is like light years ahead of anything in a console today. Literally every console combined doesn't come close.
Not even close. And I can honestly, firmly say that next generation 60 frames per second will not be an issue with these consoles, and that's great news.
Yes.
And
if you have 16 threads, holy fuck, are you going to see some really badass shit?
Now that's the part where I'm a little skeptical on now, because I seeing the price points that the 8-core 16-thread Ryzen 3000 CPUs are at. I'm not so sure if these consoles
how much are they?
16 threads. Basically, they start at $329.
Okay,
now this is an APU though. This is an APU, and they have multi-threaded or SMT on APUs that are damn cheap.
Yes, but I don't know. I don't know. It's up in the air. I've always thought, of course, 8-core 16 thread makes sense because that's what they make. But it's quite possible that we might just get 8 cores on these consoles.
What happens, D-Batch, if Microsoft come out with Xbox Anaconda and it's got 16 thread, and Sony said, "Fuck it, we didn't want to invest more in R&D to keep that power draw down and the cooling up." So what if Anaconda has 16 threads?
Well, then I would expect a lot more performance out of the Anaconda.
Now, remember, you take that PC price that you get on Amazon or Newegg or whatever, and you got to cut it by 35-40% for what is actually in the consoles. A couple years ago, I did a price breakdown of what I thought the Scorpio was going to be, and I came to like $489 and rounded up to $499. And just looking at the guts in there compared to what a PC equivalent is. So when you're looking at a $330 CPU, that's for a desktop PC or a laptop, like that's going to be a lot cheaper
Yeah.
for millions of consoles they're going to build.
I agree with you, and also too they're buying these chips in bulk, so of course they get a discount on that. And from this keynote event, Lisa Su and the Microsoft rep, like, they were swooning over one another on their partnership and all the progress that they made.
Looking back for fuck yeah,
and they were teasing like a big surprise announcement, big announcement on some tech that they're working on.
I mean, Phil went to the AMD conference thing as well, like, and then they get up there and they're like, hey, like giddy and shit, like thinking about the things that are coming. And they did hint at the consoles there as well.
Yeah, and also too, if Microsoft is as involved as AMD is saying they are, that could also give them a cheaper price on these on the.
I think Microsoft are working with AMD directly, like they did the Xbox One X, which you still can't buy a 6 teraflop GPU on an APU on the PC side, right? So this APU in the Xbox One X, you still can't buy it anywhere else, and they still don't have one that's even close to this much power on the PC.
No.
So Microsoft worked directly with AMD to develop that custom. They eliminated over 60 bottlenecks for different engines that are very popular. I think they're doing this completely with their next systems. David Robinson says, never before there, and bear with me because we had a lot of people listening from like Nigeria, all kinds of places, man. We get messages and comments from everywhere, but at first, English isn't always the first language. So never before, and there be no more, a game like Gears of, this motherfucker's got bars, Gears of War. Now I'll say no more as I close the door. Yeah, well, yeah, David. Gears of War. Gears of War is a great game, man.
I'll say this just to close up on this stuff though. The next generation consoles, they're going to be amazing one way or another, and I don't think we're going to see a price point lower than $500. And I quite possibly think that $500 that we will see, they might be taking a loss too with the tech that's packed inside there.
We will see. Shadow Ravager says, great show, guys. Can't wait for E3. Bring on the next gen information. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. But yeah, you're right. You never know what they're going to do. Kevin Lee, that was a good fight the other week, brother. He says, what are y'all most excited about at E3? Personally, new software. We know hardware is coming. I'm excited for that as well. That's kind of like what I love talking about. But right now, we know they're going to do the hardware justice, right? Software. We need software, as we've been talking about on this podcast for years. And we did it before, we were keeping it real when motherfuckers were saying, what is keeping it real anyway? This is keeping it real, bitch. We're sitting here talking about this shit years ago. And, we need
way ahead of the curve.
Way ahead of the flip-flops.
I remember you announced freaking the 2 SKU thing right at E3. I remember talking to you after E3. You're like, yeah, I'm putting out a video. I'm thinking we're going to have 2 E3, an Anaconda and a lesser thing. And sure enough, you can guys check his videos. Always ahead of the game. And one of the reasons why I'm on this podcast is very smart people here.
We like to speculate. I remember I told Colt about it. I said, I think they're going to have 2 APUs and 2 different systems at launch, just with different GPU power. And it seemed really crazy back then, but thinking about it now, it's like, that's what we have now. Like, fuck,
No, I mean,
they're just going to launch with that.
Yeah, it didn't sound crazy. It sounded awesome. Like, it sounded like the right thing to do. And I remember we talked about that so much. I turned around and made a video too, because I started getting the wheels turning about like what they could do with a cheap one and with a premium one. And yeah, I mean, it's cool.
Hey, guess who's back? Rumple Foreskin. He says, hello, whatever the fuck that picture is. Thanks for the super chat, Rumple. I don't even want to look at it. That picture's got me fucked up, man. Give me nightmares and shit, Rumple.
Can I just make this point? It's about the Xcloud. I did say it was USB stack or the USB, but what the statement was, from the data centers we have near Washington, we're really seeing good latency, less than 10 milliseconds that's being added by the traversal to the cloud. Frankly, we find more latency in the Bluetooth stack connected to an Android phone. And that's in regard to Xcloud.
Between your router and that's very interesting. So in ideal situations, there's more latency in your own house, kind of with your phone, and between your internet itself than the actual server system itself.
It's crazy.
That is very interesting.
And you know what? I believe them, because I remember before you can actually remote stream your Xbox if you go in and change some settings in your router, and you can go to another address and play your Xbox. And when I used to do that, there was like little to no latency, and they didn't even design it for that at that point. So I can only imagine the effort that they put into this. I think it's going to be really a flawless service. And Sony going to Microsoft once again for their cloud services tells me that it will be.
Yeah, I'm sure you're waiting for every podcast to mention Rumple Foreskin. Not quite. Littlers. Littlers. He says, love the show. Thank you so much, man. Go ahead, Zucker.
Now, I was gonna say, I don't know. I mean, D, I understand that you think it's gonna be flawless, but I think there's gonna be a lot of growing pains for the next 2 to 3 years on this service. I think that everybody knows that. I think Stadia knows that. I think like Google. I think that's gonna be the big thing, is that we're gonna have to go through these growing pains because it's the first time this is ever happening. Like, this is not like I mean, I know PS Now has been doing it for a little while, but this is actually big companies coming in, putting a lot of money and tech behind it. So I don't know. I feel like the Xcloud is something that we're going to enjoy, but I think it's going to take at least 3 to 4 years before we actually sit there and go, this is actually a viable option for us to actually play and sit there and feel like it is a flawless.
Well, by then, Zocker, like, everything will advance so much. Like, our internets will be higher, and hopefully, those
my
data
internet's
caps
at 1
will
gig.
go away.
Mine's at 1 gig a second. So, like, I mean, or whatever the hell it is. I'm at, like, it's fine. Like, I can run it easily, but I'm just talking about the experience in general. Like, everything, like having it flowing, developers understanding it, people knowing what it is, and it actually taking off.
Hey, I got a shout out to Titan Drago, and also Super Chat D-Batch. Will Anaconda be more powerful than PS5?
Well, everything that we've heard so far, I think so. And also, too, once again, at Computex, they really hinted at something really incredible, and they even mentioned the word next level stuff. So I do expect it to be more powerful. I don't think they're going to lose the power crown again, because they really suffered this gen not having the most powerful console. I know games are important, obviously, but the power argument also matters. People say it doesn't matter when they're winning, or but if you're losing, it matters. It matters.
I can't wait till Xbox has the best grass out there. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
Well, I've heard people, like, they're excited about seeing some games finally hit the Switch, and they're like, but like, The Witcher 3 is
holy shit. I saw that today.
It's going to come to the Switch, and people are a little worried about how it's going to look, how it's going to run.
I saw pictures of it today. It looks fucking horrible.
Oh, does it?
I think that was fake.
Witcher 3 on the Switch.
It looks like GTA 2.
That bitch is at 360p. Fuck.
I think that was I think that was fake, man, because I saw that shit too. And if that's how the game looks, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is Mario 64?
I mean, it's going to look like mini Switch ports. It's going to look worse than the PC version, like on low. It's going to have lower than low settings on PC. Yeah, hey, Element Appeal says, what do you think the lifespan of the Xbox Anaconda is going to be before the next mid-gen upgrades? Honestly, with this much power in Anaconda, think of it as it is a mid-gen upgrade just right now, offered at a higher price point. So you can start from the beginning with that upgrade and be happy. And that's enough power to geez, man, that's going to last quite a while. Like, you're not really going to be begging for more here, especially if they've got some really cool custom technology in there. I don't think they will need a mid-gen upgrade with the Anaconda. If you have the Anaconda, let's say you have the Lockhart and you're like, this is great, 1080p 60 or 1440p 30, whatever, 4K 30 on low demanding games. And you want more, you can go out and get an Anaconda in a year or two or whenever, but I don't think a mid-gen thing is necessary with Anaconda. It doesn't mean they won't do it, but it's a lot of power, man.
Well, I mean, the way that games are developed, and, like, people build these really super high-end rigs, and they'll dual SLI, cards. Like, they're putting a lot of money in and not getting a return visual-wise on their games, because games only look so great. You can jack up the resolution and you can run it at 144 hertz. I'm thinking for a little while on the consoles, on the PS5 and the Anaconda, like, there'll be a little bit of headroom if they're pushing for, like, the best visuals and capping it at 60 frames and not pushing for 120,
Yeah, Nick Irwin says at least 3 or 4 years. In his opinion, everyone's going to have their own opinions, but honestly, Anaconda it's going to be a powerful fucking box.
Yeah.
Rumple Foreskin, he says, the projected price is going to make me start pimping again. I don't think it's going to be that ridiculous, man, but in either case, you're getting a ton of power. I mean, AMD on the desktop side are barely over 12 teraflops right now with a full-fledged, 300-watt fucking GPU. So we'll see. This Navi better be something special for this kind of power to be possible on an APU like this.
Yeah.
Got to be something very special.
Yeah, well, I think it will be, to be honest with you.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll definitely see. But hey, we got over 900 people watching this live, guys. Whoever's here, hit that like button, this little thumb underneath the title. Let's try to get the 400 before the end of the show. You guys keep giving. We'll keep taking. We do appreciate it. Also, if you're watching after the fact, let's try to get to 1,000 likes. It really helps more than you know. Let's go ahead and move the topic forward real quick. Just a quick mention, new Call of Duty reveal, rumor for May 30th as well. Zalker, there's a big, just real quick, 30 seconds. Tell us what's going on with Call of Duty and the whole drama between Activision and them switching teams and all that.
Yeah, they took out a Sledgehammer for Call of Duty. They were the developers under Call of Duty, and they took them out and put the team that did Black Ops, I believe, put them back on a game. So instead of having that 3-year cycle around that time to build a game, these guys are being given another 2-year cycle to do it. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. I think Black Ops has basically been dead, or, you know, the Black Ops 4 has been dead. So I think Activision's trying to scrambling. Yeah, and there has been rumors that game is going to go free to play, especially Blackout, because of Apex and Fortnite just absolutely dominating them. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what Activision's doing. They're scrambling, it seems, and I'm not looking forward to that at all. If that's what they're doing.
Soccer. I also heard that they're going to call it Modern Warfare. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think this one coming up is going to be called Modern Warfare this year, but we're talking like that's this year, and then next year the guys that made Blackout or Black Ops 4 are bringing out the one next year, and so they only have 2 years to pump out another Call of Duty game.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's crazy, man. Like, it's just like, what are you doing, fucking Activision?
They don't know.
They killed Blizzard. They're dead to me.
Until they announce Diablo 4, and then you're gonna fucking screech and have a stroke. So,
bitch, nope. That mobile game killed me.
A new Command and Conquer for a new generation.
Oh my god, you motherfucker!
Guys on the toilet.
Ubisoft. Basically, this leaked not long ago. Tim, by the way, I did make you a mod. I'm sure you see that now. But Ubisoft, their little Ubisoft Pass Premium was kind of leaked on their website. It was an icon that popped up, and that has since disappeared. Theory is they're going to be bringing Ubisoft type EA Access stuff here in the next year, right?
I called it.
Well, what do you still have that number?
But yeah, I think this is the beginning of all the companies going that route, because they're seeing the money that EA is making, that Microsoft is making with Game Pass. It's a no-brainer, because this will attract the casual. This will attract gamers that don't necessarily buy all their games. They'll get to sample the games and, you know, buy the DLC and whatnot. It's a smart move. I think everything is starting to go towards the digital whatever field. So I'm not surprised, and I'm happy for this, to be honest with you.
I think that only certain companies can do this. I think Ubisoft has amazing games. They bring out 2 to 3 great AAA titles a year it's actually going to be worth the subscription fee. EA, again, I think they've been kind of fucking fumbling all over the place and punching themselves in the dick. So I don't know what the hell they're doing, but their premium subscription is actually pretty good if you have a PC. But I think this might be something that's coming to console, which I don't know why the EA premium, whatever it's called, Origin subscription is not on console, but they only have EA Access. Because getting games day and date in the subscription is one of the biggest like draws to it, like Game Pass, right? So why isn't EA putting this on console if Ubisoft's going to do it? So I don't think a lot of companies can do this. Everybody thinks that, every company's going to do it. It's like, no, they can't. It's only going to be the big ones that actually is going to be worth the money, and you're going to buy their games anyway, so you're saving money.
Zocker, what other companies think could do this?
So far, just EA, Ubisoft, and I think maybe, just maybe, depending on if they actually get their shit together too, is Bethesda.
I heard that Bethesda is more likely to work with Xbox directly on Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fucking awesome.
David Robinson, Xbox never fall back again. You're right, David Robinson. You're right. They don't need to fall back again. They're going to have it all together from the get-go, provided they have compelling software to lure all the people to their box. So once more, need software. It doesn't need to be only on my Xbox, but to have that on a console for console-only people, I think that's very important. Tryhard Fan follows that up with just fish. So thanks, Tryhard Fan.
People said, people are saying Zalker, Activision, Blizzard. I don't think so. I think Call of Duty, and then what else? Like, honestly, WoW is a subscription-based game. Blizzard doesn't really bring out that many games for console. And then a lot of their games are basically buy it and you play the shit out of it forever. Overwatch, Diablo, stuff like that. So I don't think that's a good subscription-based company. I really don't.
Hey, Colt, Elemental has a pretty big super chat here. You want to tackle that one while I scroll through these topics here? Can you find that?
Yeah, and actually I did want to talk about that. He said Phil Spencer has been quoted saying VR needs to be an untethered experience. Oculus Quest was just released and offers something close to that vision. Could Xbox go with its path, standalone wireless VR? I'm actually working on a video that mentions this, and I'll just say it here because not everybody gets a chance to watch everything. But Phil Spencer said a while ago that they would rather rely on third-party hardware for VR than to build their own and spend the R&D, the time, and the money to make an Xbox VR headset. And with Microsoft trying to unify PC and Xbox together, which I think they'll be able to do a lot more next generation. I think it makes more sense for them to make the Xbox Anaconda and Lockhart fully compatible with the mainstream headsets like Oculus, Vive, and stuff like that. I think if they're going to do VR, I just don't know what they're going to do with VR. Right? That's the problem, because it seems like Microsoft isn't really excited about, well, at least the Xbox division is excited about the games that are out. Like, they're not talking about it. So I don't know what they're going to do. What do you
D-Batch, what do you think?
You love VR. Yeah, tell us.
500 words or less.
I don't know.
You're the most talented, D-Batch.
You're the VR man.
You can't fail us.
You know what? We have heard behind the scenes that there is going to be the PlayStation 5 VR, that they're aiming to do the wireless version. Maybe they won't concentrate on it for launch, just for the simple price that these consoles might be a little bit more pricier than the previous generation, which I'm thinking $500. So maybe at the beginning that wouldn't be such a good idea, to add that additional cost, right? So maybe a year later, after they see the momentum of the PlayStation 5, then they can kind of gauge it by that. And as well, the regular PlayStation VR, I'm pretty sure is going to work on the PlayStation 5 anyways. Yeah.
And also we got something, we can come back to that as well. Shadow Eternal, brother to Eternal Shaddai, says, Shaddai Eternal says, will Xbox Plenty or become obsolete because of Project Xcloud? This is a question I've actually asked myself here on the show, because that's a good point. If you can stream everything, all these titles, what's the point of going through importing everything? But then I remember that they do have GameCore, and GameCore is developed to be able to stream to be able to kind of scale different games on and off mobile, PC, and console. So I think they should give that option to play natively at all times if they can. If it's not playable natively, I think they'll let you stream it there at the very least. You're right. That's a very good question.
I hope it goes nowhere, man. I enjoy playing anywhere. A lot of my friends play on PC, and I'll play on Xbox. We play Sea of Thieves, and there you go. Like, we'll just play together. It's super easy. It's just like them having an Xbox, and they can play it natively. They don't have to stream it, nothing. So I like that. I think it's fucking awesome.
And remember, they're bringing Xbox games playable natively on PC through GameCore. I've covered that. And also, they're bringing Game Pass to PC, which you'll be able to play natively, I'm sure. So I think they're going to give you both those options, especially Tim Dog. VR gave me Tim Dog. Tim Dog, really? Did VR give you crabs? I don't think that's what gave you crabs.
No,
I think you wear it on your face.
No, for me, VR is not for me. I tried it once. It's just I don't know. It's just not, until they get the games where it's really on a AAA level. That's when I'll look at it. But right now, it's totally. I'm not into it.
Hanging out with Rand.
Right now.
So Jesse Putt says there are third-party headsets basically that can leverage for Xbox, and that's definitely what Xbox will do. Tim, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I don't know which route they're going down. I know that what Phil has said on publicly is the way he really believes. He believes when it's not wireless, it's a little bit less intrusive. Meaning that when you put on a set, you're pretty much closed off to the world. That might be enticing to some people, but it's also a turnoff for other people. Like, let's say you have a kid, or you're home and alone, or you're watching somebody. You don't want to be closed off, obviously.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. It's kind of like Sony saying that EA Access is not a good value, so they're not going to offer it to their customers. And Phil has sort of blockaded VR by not bringing it to the Xbox One X. Maybe it wouldn't work at all on the standard Xbox, but they're not talking about it. Maybe we're going to hear about it at E3, and this is all the reason why they just kind of sidestepped it, because they wanted to wait until it was powerful enough to run it. But I mean, I don't know.
Hey,
I don't think they're in the VR field right now.
Let's add what
pretty
Tim
much.
said. Sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'm going to
No,
stay
you
off
go.
of VR here in a second. Y'all motherfuckers talking.
Oh,
I
yeah,
want to say real quick about VR.
I'm done with VR.
The new headsets, the new VR headsets, though, they do have cameras on the front of them, and you are able to see the real world in real time. Like, you can just, with the flip of a button, you can see what's going on in front of you. So they have
videos from IGN and GameSpot and all those every week saying those VR headsets are spying on us.
How much is it, Wilmy Hood? How much is the Oculus?
You know, I really wish that VR was a little bit more affordable and accessible to everybody, because you really need to have good hardware to truly experience VR. But when you do have the hardware and you experience it, it's such a different experience.
Something you gotta try, right?
Yeah, it's so immersive. You can't talk about it. I know I'm putting everyone to sleep. Sorry.
Well, you know what else we got experience is apparently event gaming. So Richard Sue's in the super chat says we need pinball event hours with prizes. So for instance, you could basically free pinball table subscription gaming is good, but event gaming is better. I don't know what you're talking about, Richard. That sounds interesting. I've never heard of it. Anybody else know?
No.
Event gaming, huh? I'll have to definitely look into that. But yeah, it sounds so. Basically, it's like more of a prize powered type thing. But yeah, hey, just so you guys know, next week Brad Sams is going to come on again. Woo! We're going to talk about
oh fuck.
Tim Dog's crabs are wooing in the mic. We're gonna talk about kind of our predictions, what we expect to see. It's going to be a good show to have Brad on, and we're also going to go live right after E3. So we hope to see each and every one of you back here right after E3, and we'll have a big post show and talk about everything, and maybe have some more stuff there as well.
Right after the Xbox conference is what
it's good. Yeah, right after Xbox's conference, we're going to be doing it big. Last year was huge. We had like almost 2,000 people in the chat, so there's going to be a ton of people here. And I've said it over and over, but yeah, we're definitely going to be doing that as well. So let's move on from VR here. Well, God damn it, we can't move on from VR because that's the next thing. Real quick, I'm not talking about this any more than I have to. Is Sony basically saying that they see no reason to launch a PSVR with PS5? So what D said is right. They don't want to launch that right on top of each other. They'll kind of let that go and see what's going on. And you know, hey, let's get the fuck off VR. Ghost of Tsushima, Shiitake Mushrooms dev still hiring, basically pushing the game to its full potential, which is good. And hey, let me ask you this, Tim Dog. Is Ghost of how do you say it, Cole?
I can't say it.
It's Ghost of Tsushima. It's not Ghost.
It's Ghost of Samsung. What?
Tsushima.
Oh, Shishia. Okay, well that game is that still coming out in 2019, Tim? Because that's all I heard last year.
No, it's.
I mean, are you sure? Because on Twitter they were telling us that the big ass dumb list with dumbass games from most of them no one cares about. Are you sure that those people weren't wrong in saying that it's coming out in 2019?
I'm pretty sure that they're wrong. I doubt that this game comes out. I think there's maybe a 5%.
Someone said,
but you have a serious Engine Ben for $20 in the chat. I don't know if you see that.
Engine Ben. I'm trying to get to him, man. Sometimes these super chats like
hold on.
The chat is on fire today, man.
Hold on. Someone said Ghost of Tsushima. Hey, oh my gosh, I love this chat.
Oh my god.
All right, go ahead.
How do you think Engine Bin? Okay, thank you so much, brother, for the 20. Just fucking dropping the hammer here. How do you think that the potential tariffs on Chinese imports, specifically gaming devices, will affect console production? That is a very good point. Like, we don't really get political here, but that's definitely something's going on. And will that raise prices, D-Batch?
It's hard to say. Now I want to ask Tim this question. Tim, do they make the Xboxes in America?
No.
Brazil, I think they make them in.
No, they make them in China, same as the PS4s.
Yeah, so then if that's the case, yeah, it would affect it.
Here's the deal with the tariffs thing. This thing has come up multiple times.
Said, fuck you. Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. The tariffs things has come up several times, several different years. It's threatened to rise prices of hardware and gaming, and I think it's one of those things where the consumers aren't going to see it there. I don't know.
Companies will eat it up. 25%. That's a lot, man.
Come on. It's probably just like somebody heard this. They think this is going to happen. I don't know. I mean, that sounds pretty drastic.
Not to get political once again, but the guy that's in office.
Don't you say that name? Don't you say any names, D? Don't you do it?
That guy that's in office. He is really threatening to do this, and we kind of know he kind of is a loose cannon, and he could do this. So if he does go ahead and put this tariff on, unfortunately, I think it will affect the prices because these companies like I said earlier, I think they're going to take a loss on these systems, quite possibly. So another 25% on top of that, they're not.
But
as well.
he is an Xbox fan.
All right, so
hey,
D, what's your Twitter handle, D?
D_batch.
Okay, I'll link that down below so you guys can attack D after the show.
Damn
it! I want to talk about the initiative once again. These guys do not give a fuck. And shout out to Luca, she's in the chat as well. These guys are hiring. They're going big. They just stole another developer, this time from Last of Us 2. And you know what? I forgot to write that motherfucker's last name. So he's going to be known as Robert, and they've got him on the design team now at the initiative. So Robert is going ham on the next big Microsoft AAA game that we'll probably hear about in 500 million years. Any thoughts here, Tim Dog? You know about Robert, right? You know Robert, good guy.
Who? Robert who?
Robert. He's just known as Robert.
For what is it?
His last name's Robert.
He came from Last of Us 2. He's now working with the initiative.
Oh yeah. Listen, it looks like they're building up the most talent, and they're gonna just keep doing this until they're ready to make the game. It's great what they're doing. And everyone that knows from what I've heard that signed on, people have said, well, is too many cooks for the will destroy the stew. You ever hear that statement when you have too many big people in charge? But everyone is pretty much really liking their role from what I heard. And this is a great thing.
They need a badass, like for instance, right? Every single big studio has like a lead artist, a lead technical guy,
right.
A lead blah, 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 blah. And all those lead guys get at a table and they're like, all right, this is what we've come up with. They all lead their own separate group of developers, and they're like the mini boss of their own section. I'm the lead artist. Every artist that works here comes to me. All that's funneled through me into Corey Barlog, for instance, right? The head creative director. So there's got to be like 7, 6, 5, 8 big names to lead each section of what will come together to make one big game, right, Tim? Right. So kind of makes sense.
Exactly.
What's important?
No, just to say no, but this is going to be a AAA deal too. I know that people are saying it's not going to be AAA. This is firmly AAA. The only thing that this is negatively is that they still really are in the beginning stages of production and stuff like that. I don't even know if they have a game that's been tanked out.
Colt, you probably think it'll be like 3 years before we hear from them at least.
Yeah, I mean, they probably haven't been to the whiteboard yet and started to write down concepts, but like with having all these all-stars, which is what Microsoft's been calling this initiative team, like this all-star group, like you have a room full of all-stars, and if somebody's like, I think we're going to do like a Super Lucky's Tale type adventure, you have like 19 people in the room that go, no.
So we also need a sniper in that room, is what you said.
Yeah, like that's, too many cooks will ruin the stew, and you need those people to say, hey, I just finished The Last of Us. We did this, and this is how we made this really epic. And you're like, okay, that's cool. You need that. And they have that team. They have like the people from GTA 5, people from Rockstar, people that worked on Red Dead 2, people that worked on Last of Us, God of War. Like that's the team you want.
I don't think the too many cooks thing is going to be a problem at all in this. I think people are kind of like, oh yeah, this big guy's coming over here, this big guy's coming over here. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that Daryl Gallagher, that's the only guy they announced. Hey, Daryl Gallagher's running this shit. And when everybody signs on for this, they know they answer to Daryl Gallagher. Yeah. That's the whole point. You come on this because you want to basically push the boundaries of what you're comfortable with and what you know in the tech field and what you're able to create. And that's what they're doing. They know that they're going to get state-of-the-art equipment. They're going to be given the time, and they're joining, number one, talented people, because you can't do it all by yourself. So they're going to have people that they can rely on. It's a team. Everything in this is a team effort, and being comfortable with your team and trusting someone to get something done is so good in the tech industry. You have no idea. Like, that's the whole point of joining something like this. So I'm not worried about this at all.
I don't understand why people are upset. First of all, they made fun of Microsoft this whole generation for having lackluster exclusives. They've addressed that by going out and buying all these studios. They're putting the initiative together, which is going to be a super fucking team. And people are complaining? Like, are you serious?
No, I'd be complaining too if you're stealing all my good shit.
Come on.
Hey, Robert, come back over here. No, fuck y'all, I'm out. Stick stealer. Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, Randall Thor's not here. At the end of the day, this is looking to be very good. I think they are past having the stuff on the whiteboard. They already went to Microsoft like a week ago, I think, and I think they presented a lot of different information and ideas there, and they're still hiring. So I think they did take that and they're running with the Xbox, whatever, next fucking Xbox, what do you want to call it? People always get mad. Xbox 2? What the fuck you want us to call it? This thing's called
Xbox V.
1. I don't know what the hell it's going to be called, so we call it Xbox 2.
Xbox
Nonetheless, that's going to be at E3 this year. They're gonna show us or tell us some specs at the very least. There's going to be some information there, and hopefully they match at least what the PlayStation has told us. But we got a question on Twitter from Jeffrey Neisen, and he says, "What do you think this box is actually going to look like? The different Lockhart and Anaconda. I mean, it's kind of hard to imagine them going a completely different direction with the next generation of Xbox. And furthermore, we can follow that up with what the hell will they call these damn things? Will it be Xbox One S2 and X2? Or will it be something completely different?
Do you think they're going to keep the 1 in there?
I mean, it's all part of the same family. So they, like Halo Infinite, they already talked about how it will work across the entire Xbox One family when regarding like future systems. So,
well, they painted themselves in a corner with the S and the X. Like they can't really move down the the alphabet.
Chat, we're counting on you. We need your help here, chat. Let us know what you think they're going to call the next Xboxes.
Seeing how Microsoft is on this, there's no new generations. Xbox Infinity would be a good name.
I think they're going to go with a.
His Iron Man Halloween costume on.
I think they're going to go with a variation of 5. I'm going to stay on that. And I know people keep saying over and over, but it's the 4th one. I'm like, this is what they did with the 360. They didn't want to call it. They didn't want to call it the Xbox 2, so they went with a 3 variation, and they came up with 360, which was goofy.
I also think, just being on a 7-nanometer node as well, I think that these consoles, I think they're going to be really small and slick, have a really nice form factor.
You think they'll be smaller in the XD?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Yeah,
I think I was thinking about this the other day. You know how Microsoft doesn't put out these custom consoles like ever. I think they do it on purpose. I don't like that they do this, but I think Microsoft wants that Apple type thing, that clean look, and they don't want a bunch of gaudy, themed consoles out there. So they don't do very many of them. I think they want the world, when they see an Xbox in a home, that it blends in with the entertainment center. It's not an intrusive look. Like there's these concepts of the PS5 coming out that are just all wild and crazy and goofy looking. And I think the same thing with the PlayStation. I think these new consoles will be have a very subdued look. What do you guys think?
I just think that we've heard Mike Ybarra on this show say, I don't even know what generations are. I think that though. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't even know what that is. Stop asking me weird things.
He's my buddy. I'm just saying that I think that they might even just call it the Xbox. Like honestly, like I don't know. Like I think they're going to try to keep it simple, or just keep it the Xbox One because that's the brand.
Zucker, have you noticed what your Xbox actually physically says on it? That's it embossed on the plastic.
What does it say?
It doesn't say Xbox One. The X and the S just say
just a
Xbox.
Picture of D doing a rising uppercut.
It just has the globe and it says Xbox. So it's very interesting.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to, once again, almost 1,000 people watching. Hit that like button. Let's get up to 500. Fuck it. I said 500 this show. 500. And over 1,000, of course.
I need $500 to kill this man.
I need about 350. Hey, yeah, seriously.
Slap.
If you guys can hit that like button, get over 1,000. The fact, maybe share this. We share things as the crackheads in the background are bickering about who knows what. But hey, we do. I mean, we got to keep going on this because what are they gonna? Well, the name is less important. What do you think it's going to look like, Tim Dog?
I think it's going to be similar to what they have, maybe a little bit sleeker. I don't think that they will be a different look from the Lockhart to the Anaconda. I think they will be the same thing. Maybe one that doesn't have a disc. Maybe the Lockhart possibly doesn't have a disc. But pretty much similar to what we have, but a little bit sleeker, in my opinion.
Like the S and the X, but maybe some ventilation differences, right? Like the S has a completely different type of cooling system than the X, and they kind of intake air and stuff differently. But yeah, basically look very similar. Right. So yeah, maybe the same thing with the next Xbox as well. Very good question, Jeffrey, on Twitter. Thank you so much. We do put those up on the RDX post now. I don't do a separate tweet anymore. Look for the RDX post every Tuesday, and at the bottom it says post below. If you got a question or topic you want us to talk about, we do it live, and we try to give you a shout out as well. So least we can fucking do. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to this whole Fable 4 thing. Fable 4 was listed on Mixer, and according to one Randall Thor, there's a lot of people that are trying to push this as some kind of leak, but ultimately, if you basically call a stream Fable 4, anybody can do it, then it's going to appear on this listing.
Yeah.
So this could be what happened. Or Tim, do you think maybe this is something that is official or unofficially official?
Cover up.
Unofficially official is what I'm going to say.
Ah, shit.
Just to
get people riled up.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just I just kind of get that feeling. To be honest,
it's time, Tim. We know the damn game's real. Show us the next Fable. Yeah. That's what I think. What do you think about this Mixer thing?
I don't think they're going to unintentionally leak anything as like a marketing ploy. We have 2 weeks to E3, so if they want to have Fable be one of the big reveals, that thing is G14 classified. So I don't
agree. Good point. It's so close to E3, you might as well just drop kick everyone there.
I mean, those pointed like fake leaks that they do as part of marketing, that stuff's not going to happen this close. So they do that when there's downtime.
Well, I've heard through the grapevine that there's been no leaks really, so and Xbox is very happy about that. But on the other hand, they're very tense at the moment. So I think that they possibly have the ability to surprise us, which is what we all want, right? We want to be surprised. We want to see new stuff.
Patman says, I know we won't get a price at E3, but do you think we'll get the name of the new council? Last time they did this with the X, they didn't tell us the name. It was still under Project Scorpio, but maybe they'll be a little bit more forward with this one, seeing as they don't care which Xbox you buy. They don't care what PC you play their games on. They don't care what phone or tablet you stream their games on. They just want you to play the games. It's kind of like a cell phone, right? There's no real incentive to upgrade to the next cell phone. It doesn't really do too much. The last one didn't do, but you still do it. And that's kind of the model with console, is they're going to try to, they don't really care. Like, hey, here's some new tech for the hardcore. If you want it, it's here.
Do you think it's going to be a 2-to-1 like console war next generation, like it was?
Westweb, did you think that the PS3 was going to get crushed by the Wii? I didn't think so.
Ooh.
So did that make you not enjoy the PS3 last gen?
People are so funny because like I know Xbox has had a bad 2 years, maybe almost 3 years in comparison. But it's so funny. The Wii U, like when the Wii U was announced, we counted out Nintendo. They were like done. They had ruined their gaming division, and they struggled through the Wii U generation until they came out the Switch. They knocked the Switch out of the park so hard that in 2 years it passed the PS4 in Japan. Like the Switch is doing awesome. It's so funny. You can't like take a small area of 2 years of like a whole platform's existence and base the rest of your life on it.
Like a lot of people counted Nintendo out with the Wii U. That's how badly it was doing.
Yeah, and Jack Trenton even said the other day that the PS5 is up against some really stiff competition. Like Microsoft is putting out a bunch of games. They tripled their effort for first party. They're building amazing consoles. The X was already amazing in itself. Like
crushes every other console ever made, right? So Microsoft,
they're going to sell a ton of
engineering chops.
And with PS Now becoming a bigger presence with streaming, and they're going to put a lot more games on PS Now and Xcloud, like it's really going to be about where the software, like who's coming where to get the software, where are you buying your games, and how many are you buying?
Not to mention Amazon, Google, Apple, everybody. Yeah. Everybody's trying to get in on it. It's not going to be the same thing, people. We're never going to see a generation like we just did.
Yeah, you can't think like 2014 anymore. Like it's gotten so old where people are just thinking about sales 2-to-1. Like if sales were so important, Westweb, why is it so close of a console sale war in North America? Like I think it's like 21 million sold PS4s and 19 million sold Xboxes. It's something like that. It's
pretty close.
It's interesting. I know the rest of the world has it because PlayStation's gigantic. They had an awesome generation. They've been doing everything right. most everything. So
PlayStation knows that Xbox has the advantage in next generation. That's literally why they're paying Microsoft to help them put their games on any device, quote unquote.
And all of this that we just said in the past 8 minutes, all of this benefits every single one of us, whether you're on PlayStation only or if you're like all of us on the panel that have a PlayStation and an Xbox. Like, I'm going to buy both at launch.
Like, D's going to have so many more benchmarks to do. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Hey, Space Jesus says, "Where's your source? What for the console sold? Like,
that's pretty much right. No, NPD is his source. So go look it up. He's pretty much right there.
The numbers are low. The numbers are low. Like, I think it was a year ago. It was 21 and 19. So it's scaled up. But the PlayStation has not had that big of a gap in North America, and that's been consistent throughout the whole generation.
Mr. Buster Palmer says I could definitely see a red LED trim with the high-end Xbox.
That's your
RGB.
I mean, why not just do something like like you said, RBG or something? RBG. The lighting, you could change the color of it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like the Alienware X52 and all that stuff, right?
I just want to add real quick to what he was to what Colt was saying there. All of these companies, they're looking at as many to get to as many consumers as possible. So they're not going to be held back by devices or this console war bullshit. Like, you have Samsung TVs that just recently got an update to have Apple TV on it. So the Samsung TVs have Apple TVs and have AirPlay on it now. So it's how many consumers can you reach? And these companies want to reach as many as possible. And there's billions of gamers out there that don't have a console, that have a laptop, that have a cell phone. So stop thinking so old school. Things are changing.
Yeah. It comes down to one word: ubiquity. You're going to be able to have access to your games on more devices than ever, and you're going to see that across the board with a lot of different people, and you're going to see big players like Nintendo and Sony using Azure to do it all.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, Nintendo would never put their stuff on. They already got Mario games. It's specifically built for the iPhone.
Yeah.
Money talks, people. So, I mean,
and my toaster, I have this toaster on my kitchen counter. It's so awesome because it's sold way more than the other brand. Like, it is amazing.
To shoot your toast at you when it's done.
It makes little Xbox symbols on his toast when he eats them. He's like, fucking delicious.
I think it's such a stupid argument, this console stuff. Just concentrate on the games that are on the platform. What type of games? Compare the games on each platform. That's fine. But the console sales stuff doesn't really matter at the end of the day too much.
Just enjoy what you enjoy, people. Jesus.
It's definitely not what it used to be. The whole landscape has changed. It's not like it used to be. Like the beginning of this gen, yes, it was a very viable metric. Right now, the way things are going, it's all going to active users and people who are actually on the system as opposed to as if they bought it. They want to know who's playing. Both companies, all companies.
David Robinson says, "Greetings. In mathematics, X means unknown. Facts. You can actually ask Cortana." Yeah, that is very interesting. I think they're the reason they wanted to go that route is for DirectX. But yeah, that's definitely a good point, David. Others Inc. We did not have a bad 2 or 3. Yes, compared to others, we didn't have a great couple years for games. Others Inc. We haven't had a big blockbuster fucking game since Gears 4, bro. So you just got to keep shit real, ask for better, as we've done. And guess what? If they didn't have two or three bad years in games, or at least, if you like, I like State of Decay because I like State of Decay. I like State of Decay 2 because I liked 1, right? But if you didn't like State of Decay, you didn't like Sea of Thieves, and you don't like Forza, no one's a lot there for you. So if it really wasn't that bad, and I'm not saying it's fucking horrible because I also play. Alexa, shut the fuck up. Also, if you also play third-party games as well, like, okay, you could have a great time in the X as I have, but if it wasn't a problem, they wouldn't have literally just doubled their studios and they wouldn't have hired more for each studio. It was a problem. Phil himself has talked about how it's been a pretty lackluster couple of years. So,
and I have to keep it real. I have to keep it real with the PlayStation 4. Like, this past 2 years have been rough on the Xbox, like really rough, right? No big action adventure, AAA game, but the PlayStation has had maybe 4 or 5 in that time. They've had God of War, Spider-Man, Days Gone was fantastic. what were the other really big
I
games
mean,
they got?
you don't even need to
Pretty much that's it. Yeah, you got them.
I mean, they've had, but you know, it's you compare it. You compare 5 big games
I just
to
think
0.
I just think it's different. I just think everybody has different tastes. Either you like it or you don't. PlayStation, they had great games come out, but again, I can't play with my fucking friends at all on any of them. The Xbox had those. It depends on what you like. If you like those single player games, yeah, PlayStation killed it for you. If you like single player games or if you like co-op games, Xbox killed it for you.
But every multiplayer game
matter.
you spend a lot of time, aside from Sea of Thieves, is multiplat anyway. So
yeah,
right?
it's
and
ridiculous.
shout out to Jez Corden says Forza fishing. It's coming.
Yeah.
Quick fading you out when you get in the water. Yeah.
Jazzmeister.
I took a couple pictures of Jez fishing and Sea of Thieves. We look over, Jez is fishing again. I'm like,
that's all he was doing. Where I was like managing the ship. Jez is sitting there. I got a fucking fish, guys, and I'm like, bro.
He's like, I don't like fishing in real life, but in games, man, I really like fishing. You know, hey, everyone, it's just another thing they added in Sea of Thieves, by the way. If you want to fish, you can do it. So, hey, real quick, Zucker, you just finally dropped your video about this today. E3 2019 will be 2 hours long, the biggest E3 of all time, according to Xbox Brazil, who have designated, according to their schedule, 2 hours of runtime for this. What are your thoughts, Zucker?
I think it's awesome, and I've been saying it for a long time. That a lot of people this whole entire year have been kind of like weird about this next E3 because Sony's not going. Everybody's been inconsistent, like who's going, who's not going, and all the other companies are kind of like, yeah, we're gonna fucking be there. I don't know what you're talking about. And the one consistent that we can all agree on is that Xbox has always said we're gonna fucking be there and we're gonna come with our fucking guns blazing. That's all that I've seen, and that's all I've really cared about is the consistent message that Xbox has put out there, talking about that they're going to show up to E3 and show up in a big way. And I put out a video explaining that, like Phil Spencer himself after Stadia said this. It's like that was his response. They went big today. We're going to go big at E3. And I'm excited to see that. And maybe it's because Sony's not there, so a lot of third-party companies want to get their games on stage and Xbox made it a little longer, or it's because they have a lot of shit to show. Like new consoles, Xcloud, everything. Like this is extremely exciting. It's almost, I almost feel like even Klobuchar said this, or Klobuchar, whatever, said this like a couple months ago. He said, this is the start, and then 2020 is the Inferno. Like that's what he said. He said the fire's starting this year, and the Inferno is next year. I kind of feel like
this year with Gears 5, and then next year it's like, all right, get the flamethrower.
Yeah, get the like fuck. We're gonna melt some bitches' faces off. Like,
asked,
that's what I'm excited for to see. I just want to see that. I want to see that excitement. It's like watching Avengers: Infinity War, then going to Endgame. Like it's like I feel like these next 2 years are going to be basically.
You mean
step
start
1
and
and 2
and going to Infinity War, the better movie?
I mean,
Oh
sure.
my
Let's
God.
go with that. You fucking.
All right.
Somebody asked Major Nelson what the heck you guys going to show for 2 hours at E3, and he said tons of games. And they did last year. They showed it. They let game after game. There was only one
wiener dog racing on the stage. Like what? I mean,
there was one lull in E3 last year, and it was when they talked about the intelligent delivery for Game Pass. Like they ran on that for like 6 minutes, and that kind of slowed everything down. But the rest was just game.
Onslaught, shout out to you in Super Chat, brother, for the buck. Thank you so much. But Tim Dog, your thoughts on the 2 hour block? We'll kind of go around the table here. Shout out to DJ as well, Hazador on Twitter, as well as Element of PO. I mean, there's so many people in this chat. I try to respond to everyone, but I'm always on a super chat. Like I gotta try to get to those guys, of course, because they fucking are putting themselves out there, and it's complicated being a host. It's not easy. It's not as easy as some people think, especially when you got 1,000 people in the chat.
I don't know how you can follow that chat. It's been on fire.
I'm trying, man. I can't do it. So, Tim, what are your thoughts on 2 hour E3, bro?
I think it's great. I think it's going to be action packed. I think they're going to hit. I really think they're going to have a tremendous show, and I think they're going to do what they set out to do, and I think they're going to go all out. So I'm excited for it. Do I think it'll be 2 hours on the dot? No, I think it might end in 1 hour and 50 minutes, but they're giving themselves enough room to get everything that they want out there. And there's also going to be an XO19, whether that's going to carry the acquisition parts. That's, we'll find out. If you have no acquisitions at E3, I would expect to see some at the XO19. I'm almost positive, or I think that they confirmed it already that there's going to be an XO19. So, yeah, it's going to be a great time for the fans, for the community, for everyone here. Obviously, Xbox has had a couple of rough years, or even a rough gen. I really believe this is going to be a turning point, and this is going to be a day that is going to be celebrated, and it's going to be a whole week. I mean, to say that E3 doesn't matter is just because you don't have it. If Xbox didn't have an E3, I'd be pissed, and so happy that they are. And
what do you mean? You wouldn't be like, well, who cares about E3? It's irrelevant.
Yeah, I would not be doing that. This is the time of year where gamers are on the spotlight, and it's the way it should be. So I'll be there, and I'm sure everyone will all be in tune, and we're gonna just have a ton of crazy news to talk about because I think they're gonna bring it.
Jez in the super chat again. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you so much, brother, for the $10, man. Whoa, Sofa King just with a picture of Sofa King with a very interesting picture of a bracket and then a period. And
is that Rand?
That's a picture of Rand equation. If I
Sofa King, that's the Sue and I see. Sofa King, yeah, we know what it is, Sofa King. You're being messy.
Oh man.
Hey, so anyone else, real quick? 2-hour E3. What do you expect to see? What the fuck do you want?
I think we're gonna get the new games that we desire so much. I think we're gonna get Fable. I think we're gonna get a lot of the next Halo. But I think they're gonna concentrate on these consoles as well. The runtime tells me so. So I think we're gonna get, I would say, a good 20 minutes on the next generation Xbox and possibly the streaming box as well. So I'm really excited for this E3, more so than other years. It was kind of sad initially that Sony wasn't there. But now, we have AMD in place of Sony's, and they're going to announce some Navi stuff. And of course, we're going to get the next Xbox announcement, all these games. So I'm hyped, man. I think E3 is going to be a great show, man.
One simple man says it's going to be irrelevant because their daddy isn't there. That's pretty weird. But you know what? You're right. God damn it. The company that they worship isn't there. So if Microsoft weren't going, I would be like, all right, well, it's up to Sony. Fuck it. I hope it's a good show. Yeah. Honestly, so
right,
Biggie, god damn it, Biggie, no, these are better. Yes, Biggie.
Oh my gosh,
I would agree.
You got too much time on your hands, man.
We got text
Leave Biggie alone
rolling in.
From the chat. Yeah, Biggie, thanks so much, man. But yeah, Zocker, I already asked you. Colt, 2 hours. What's going
on? They need to show one adventure game that we've never heard of. That's what I want to see.
So
I said the same thing last year and we didn't get it. So I'm hoping that this is the year that they were holding out to show us one game that we've never heard of instead of a sequel, because that's all everybody's waiting for. Like everyone's like, I hope they have to show God of War 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and Killzone Shadowfall 2 and Cyclone Sandals 2. And, no, I mean,
I want Snake Pass 2, bitch.
Would you take it up? I want to see. You can't just make it up. Like, all you can say is, I hope they just show you an IP that we've never heard of, like something new. And that's what Microsoft needed more than anything, was a new IP that was a hit. Yeah. So that's what I want.
Well, would you take Ninja Theory's new game? I mean, like, I think personally that like a lot of these leaks kind of help us kind of like, we're like, all right, we know what kind of is coming. Like the Obsidian Entertainment, like if that wasn't leaked, that would have been a fucking giant announcement. Do you kind of see, if you see the Ninja Theory game and they show gameplay of it, because it's rumored to come out spring, so they're not going to have another E3 to show it. If they show gameplay and stuff, would you be excited about that?
Well, it doesn't sound like something that I want, but I have to see it, and hopefully they're going to surprise me because I've liked a lot of their games they put out. So we'll see.
Some let's see here. We've got hardcore Hymic. Hardcore Hymic, he says he wants a new Mecha Soul. I agree, man. I'd like to see.
Yeah,
they did meet with Piranha Studios like 6 times and for a port for MechWarrior and some things that they can't talk about, quote unquote. So we know they're doing something with them. Shinsai says 2 hours long, like a good RDX. Yes, sir. Except for us, it's on Tuesday.
Yeah,
I don't up.
Tim was always tweeting out 30-hour E3.
People were taking me seriously. That's the sad thing,
Really? And the executives were like sweating. Executives like, dang, Tim wants us to do 30-hour E3. I don't know if we can do it. Can we make it happen? Tim wants it.
Other thing wants to know if Sony will announce the banger Concrete Genie.
That was supposed to be shown last year, and they didn't show it at E3.
Yeah, they showed it on State of Play recently. I thought.
Yeah.
I remember back in September there was a leak for a Harry Potter game, and it looked pretty fucking awesome. I actually looking
I
forward
remember
to that.
that.
I want to see that on Xbox's stage. I want to see that game. I think that would be cool.
I think what would be also cool.
I think they're gonna kill it on the third party, to be honest, because they've had pick and choose on that aspect. So third party is gonna be.
That might be
really
why
good.
they
finest is in the chat.
Well,
Holy shit!
how many state of plays will it take to get to 2 hours? That's what I want.
Oh my god! Jez said fishing.
Fishing.
Jez is sitting there with that little plastic rotating toy with the magnet fish that you like dangle a little line. He's like,
Hey, when we can get some our time stuff fixed up and stuff, Jez said he'll pop up on the show as well. Come on and talk some games as well.
What time is it over there right now, Jez?
It's like fucking 3 days from now. Cole. 3 days in the future.
He's in the future. Hey, what's the new Xbox look like,
Hey,
Jez?
what's how's State of Play go? That's what I want to know. But hey, anyone else got any other things on a 2 hour thing? I mean, it's great. More content is better. Don't let nobody tell you any different. I think we're pretty much done, man. I want to see like Fable. Show us Fable. It's ready. It's got to be ready. We heard about these job listings at the end of 2016. It's been that long they've been working on this, so it's got to be at least ready with a trailer or a tease or anything. That's what I want. So we do got to get out of here. It's been a while, guys. We want to thank all of you for coming out. About 1,000 people tonight. You guys are crazy. Next week's gonna be even crazier. We're gonna have Brad Sams on and whoever else. Maybe we'll get some more people that reach out. And once more, we also did crush 500 likes as well. Maybe we can get that up to 600 by the end of our outros. That'd be amazing. Thank you guys so much. But hey, Colt Eastwood, fantastic show, brother. Also, Jez at the end here, he says it's 4 a.m. here and all my girlfriend is asleep. I'm quiet right now.
He's doing that real light typing.
I'm quiet as fuck right now.
He's fishing slowly.
Slowly fishing. Hey, Colt Eastwood, thank you so much for coming back. We lost you last week, bud.
It was my 15th vasectomy I've had. That was amazing. I finished like 3 or 4 games this past couple weeks. I finished all of Days Gone to my heart's content. I finished Bulletstorm Remaster, which I enjoyed for the 3rd time. I love that game. So I finished that on Xbox One X at 4K 60. What else did I finish, Dealer? I finished Rage 2. Rage 2 was fun. So I think you guys should buy that game. It's really, really cool.
Hey, Ron Hale, good night, brother. Everyone, I'm just gonna say bye to everyone that's saying bye to me. And good night and rest well and don't fall off the bed. So you've been playing Rage 2. Rage 2 was good, man. A good time. It was a good solid week of just great gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of played it more often than normal. Like we just kind of blasted through it, but did a lot of stuff. But I kind of ran myself out of most of my games. Rand was nice enough to give me a Plague's Tale, so I'll be playing that. I hear really good things about that. So.
Yeah, I'm playing that now. That's actually not bad so far. It's actually pretty good.
And that's what it's all about, like playing games and enjoying and talking to your friends on party chat and enjoying gaming. And like there's just a little bit of positivity in there, because everywhere else, like people are just griping too much. Just have fun, guys.
You're wrong. It's all about sales. So I just
Not all sales.
But yeah,
want to go ahead and just put that.
Just follow me on Twitter and Xbox and YouTube. It's all Colt Eastwood. So
hey Tim Doug, what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
I've been playing Onrush. I had played Onrush pretty much all weekend. I don't know if you guys know, it's the developers from Drive Club, and they used to be Codemasters. I think they did like type of game. It's a 6 versus the computer type game. I think they're going to be building in more online support where it's 6 versus 6. Really fun game. Pretty good graphics. If you're playing with a bunch of friends and you're playing with 6 dudes and you just want to 6 gamers and you want to play, I recommend it. It's a great game to play. I also tried Farming Together, which what the hell is that?
You didn't have to tell anybody that,
Get those tomatoes.
Well, that was suggested to us, and believe me, the person that suggested to us, we were making fun of.
I mean, you can expose them right now. It's not a big deal.
I don't want to say him. But playing that. I played some Rage 2, and really liking that. And NBA 2K19, I modified my roster to have the Knicks have Kawhi Leonard, Durant, and the supposedly the guys that they're getting, and the point guard Irving. Been playing great. I had a really good weekend. Thanks. You can find me on Twitter, Beastfire, Tim Dog. For the people that are still here, please hit the like button. Very impressive, the turnout and everyone that's coming down. It's really nice to see. I mean, almost 1,000 concurrent and almost 600 likes.
We're all irrelevant, Tim.
I have to say that this is just really nice to see. And thank you very much for all tuning in.
Hey, I gotta give a shout out, and well said, Tim. Thank you so much, man. You've been a great addition. I think a lot of people come to embrace and kind of find the show here in the last couple months, and then we get you on, and it's like even better. So, once again, man, just keep up the good work. Gamer by choice. He's gaming by choice. He says, great show, guys. Thank you so much, man. Hey, Zalker, what have you been playing, and where can people find you, bud?
I've been playing. I beat Rage 2. I had a lot of damn fun with that game. I was even achievement hunting in that.
You beat that on PC?
No, I beat that on Xbox, you fucker. And I've been parties with you the whole time, you bitch.
Probably fake ass account.
Yeah, just loopty and everyone. Playing Rage 2. I'm doing Edith and Friends. That one's good. Cole put that in the chat.
Keep talking that shit.
Yeah, no, that game's really cool. It's actually crazy. I was like a cat and then a shark. I was like, what the hell's happening? That's a cool game. And then I'm going to be jumping on Wolfenstein after, and Wolfenstein 2, that is.
Yeah.
And having a good time with that. And you guys can find me at Zalker87 on Twitter and Zalker87 on YouTube. Just dropped the Xbox having the biggest E3 ever. Their biggest E3 ever video today. So go check that out.
Go give that a dislike. D-Batch, how have you been? And where can people find
Some of the dick.
I've been good, man. Once again, I'm on cloud 9 for my team being in the NBA Finals. I've been playing Rage 2 and Days Gone, kind of chugging through both of those games right now. You guys can find me at Twitter at D_batch. Please, no hate tweets. and you can find me on YouTube at D-Batch. And I just released
Give them hate tweets.
I just released a video yesterday on the Computex on AMD's Computex keynote. So I went to the Ryzen 3000 details, what it means for next generation Xbox, and of course the Navi information that we got. So if you want deep details, like sort of a deep dive on the conference there, check out that video.
Yes, and I think I got to everyone right. Hey, if you do not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the channel. Unless you're subscribed, then hit it twice. Also, hit that like button on your way out, guys. I have been playing A Plague's Tale to answer someone's question in the chat. And so I think I'm on chapter 5. And yeah, it's actually pretty good. But I just want to give a special shout out to everybody that rocks out with us. There's been a little bit of drama and shit here lately. It's not because I want it to fucking happen. It's because motherfuckers talking shit and don't know shit and been caught lying a million times, and then all the shit. And it's like, why would you ever talk shit about anybody? So I just kind of respond and do my thing, and we kind of moved on from that. And it's not really worth the time. We're here to have fun. So that's kind of the point of it. But once again, you guys powered the show. You guys are absolutely fucking fantastic. We will be back next week with Brad Sams and maybe more. With our pre-E3 RDX, and then after E3, right after Xbox's show, we'll be live as well. Hope to see you guys there. I will mention that again next week. But we have got to go once more. Follow me on Twitter at dealer_gaming, ii_dealer _ii on Xbox Live. And of course, here on the channel, we do try to put out at least 2 videos a week outside of the podcast. We are out.
Later, everybody.
Peace.
Signed out twice.